ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور. ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير. وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير. وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير. إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور. تكاد تميز من الغيظ تكاد تميز ييأس من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Maulana Abadi and the SABA boards, I'd like to extend our gratitude to Sheikh Abbas Razavian for coming and spending a couple of weeks with us and enlightening us with his knowledge. His talk last night was absolutely brilliant. So those of you who couldn't attend, see if you could get a copy of the recording. It was brilliant speech that he gave yesterday and many other weeks before that, and many other days before that. So folks, tonight is, I think, the last night he's with us. So we wish him the best as he returns back to pursue his studies in home. So folks, with a loud salawat, let's bring up Syed Abbas Razavian. Also, can I ask if everyone can come forward, that'll be nice. If everyone can huddle closer, that'll be great on both the brothers and the sisters side. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. Tonight is very possibly the last night of Shahr Ramadan. It has truly been a blessing, and we thank Allah that we were allowed to fast. He gave us permission to fast. He gave us permission to call upon Him, to seek His satisfaction. But the topic we're talking about was guidance. And we said that, how does God guide us? How can we increase our guidance? Because some of us were not in the program, the English program. We talked about factors of guidance. We said that God wants to guide us. He Himself guides us. The Quran guides us. The Imams guide us. We have factors of guidance from within. Our actions guide us, and our mind and intellect guide us. But the most complete form of guidance, the most perfection in guidance, is the guidance from the Imam. The guidance from Imam is Zaman, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajah. Please say salawat. And this is the completion of guidance. And this is how we have been created, to have a behavioral paradigm in front of us so that we can watch Him, how this was what it was meant to be, that God has created us and put an infallible person so that we could just watch Him and observe and act. It's very simple. But the oppressors have deprived us of this benefit. Even though we're benefiting from Imam Zaman, how we benefit from the sun behind the clouds, but that ability to sit and observe and watch and talk to our infallible leader is something we're deprived of. Therefore, in the narrations, what do they call us? They call us orphans. If you look at the traditions, we are yatim. Maybe that's why some of us become so bad. We're rude, we have bad manners, we sin, because we don't have a father in front, on top of us, watching over us, guiding us. And this is one of the worst balas that we have. It's the worst bala that we have is to be an orphan. And we have to truly realize that what a pain it is to be in ghaybat, in the occultation of Imam Zaman. But tonight we're going to talk about guidance and how we can still be guided from the 12th Imam, Imam Mahdi. How we can, and what our duty is during his occultation, that we align our minds with the 12th Imam. We align our minds, and we also align our hearts and souls. We make the faraj for us like dhuhur. We make the occultation somehow like dhuhur for us, meaning that we break through the barriers, and we can't do this with our soul. We can't do this with our spirit. That we can break through, and just how we connect to God without seeing Him in the same way, you also have a connection to infallible people in the same way without being able to see them with your hearts, because we mentioned the traditions that our hearts have eyes, our hearts have ears. We connect with Imam Zaman. Let's give a salawat. So the first duty for us to do during the occultation of the 12th Imam is to think properly about intidhar and waiting, which is actively waiting. If you want to translate it correctly, it should be actively waiting, because it says, Afdalul a'mal, what's the best of actions? It doesn't say the best way to sleep or the best way to relax at home. Afdalul a'mal intidharul faraj. The best of actions is waiting for the 12th Imam. So the first thing that we need to do, and I say this to myself too, is that we have to align our minds and know that we play an active role in the delay or to expedite the return of the 12th Imam. Each and every one of us. We are playing a role. We can either wait and relax and not do anything, or we can help out. And that is, of course, the verses of Quran says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. God does not change people until they want to change themselves. A layman might think about the faraj of Imam Zaman this way, that it will happen, and of course it will happen. But they don't think of the fact that we have a role, and we can play a role in expediting it or delaying it. Right? So that is the first thing we need to change. We need to think about the revolution of the 12th Imam as an alim, as a scholar, not as just a layman. So this is called waiting for the 12th Imam as being a scholar. You understand. You understand first that you are playing an active role. So whatever your actions are now, your actions and your plans and what you want to do in life should revolve around this role. Because this is the most important thing that we can do. Didn't we say that shaitan or Satan, how he attacks mankind, and what the most thing that it worries him is that Imam Mahdi will come back because Satan will be doomed, his plans will be doomed. So we on the opposite side, we plan for the 12th Imam to come. And this can be done in different ways. As individually, we purify ourselves, we prepare when we do things for him, and also in community levels, group efforts. Because groups need to arise. There need to be groups that come that will bring him back, inshallah. Another thing that we're saying, aligning our minds with Imam al-Zaman, is that people, unfortunately, sometimes they don't understand the purpose or the final cause of the uprising of Imam Zaman. There is a person, he came to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam in the tradition. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Jo'altu al-fidak mata al-faraj. May I be sacrificed for you. When is the faraj? When is the 12th Imam going to come back? What did he answer him? This narration is in Al-Kafi. Ya Abu Basir, anta mimman yuridu dunya. You are those that want the dunya. You want Imam Zaman for yourself. You want Imam Zaman, why? Maybe because you're having poverty. You want Imam Zaman, why? Because you're having insecurity. You want Imam Zaman, why? Because you are facing trouble yourself only. You are only looking at yourself and you are only looking at your dunya. You're not looking at the entire Muslimin. You're not looking at the entire purpose of Faraj. One of the verses of the Quran that talk about the purpose of the Faraj of Imam Zaman, even though fighting against oppression is very important, I understand, or fighting against injustice is very important. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, imagine, we live in a world that there's no more fighting. Everyone is peaceful. We live in a world that everyone is fed, which is a great gift. Poverty is something that we're trying to fight against. But everybody is fed, nobody is hurting each other, but at the same time there's no spirituality. Would that be a life that is desired? Or would that be the life of animals? Because animals, if you gather them up, especially if you want to later on kill them and sell their meat, you feed them, you give them shelter, and they don't have anything to do. They never get into a fight, right? If you look at cattle or animals. So the entire purpose of the revolution of the 12th Imam must be something else, even though fighting against oppression is very important. Fighting against injustice is very important. Removing poverty is very important. Look at one of the verses of the Holy Quran. It talks about the purpose. After it introduces the 12th Imam to us, that he will surely grant them succession upon the earth, just as he has granted to those before him. It says, يَعْبُدُونَنِي وَلَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِشَيْئًا, that they may worship me and not associate anything with me. Final purpose in this verse of the Quran in Surah Nur, ayah 55, it says, why? We will bring back Imam al-Zaman. Why? At the end it will say, يَعْبُدُونَنِي, so they can worship me and be a slave of me, a servant of me, of God. So the final purpose of the revolution of Imam Zaman is ubudiyat, and not sinning and being a servant of God. And the more we understand this and the more we align our minds and also our actions with Imam Zaman, the more we strive not to sin, the more we understand our role, our sins that come in terms of work, our family, our worship, we eliminate, then we become close to the 12th Imam and his final goal. وَلَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِشَيْئًا, and don't put polytheism and don't associate anything with me. So if you associate anything else to God, besides him, if you associate anything else, know that you are working against the movement of Imam Zaman. And this can happen in our tawakkul, in relying on God. This can happen in our raja, in our hope in God. If we associate others, this can be in following the commands of God, and we follow people in this world, but we do not follow God. That is shirk. So whenever we align our minds and actions with Imam Zaman, that is the awaiting of a scholar. Please recite salawat. But also there's another type of waiting. There's another type of intidhar. And that is the intidhar of the wayfarer, the person that sees the 12th Imam with his heart, the person that connects with him, the person that talks with him, the person that cries for him, the person that when he goes to holy places like Masjid al-Jam Karan, Masjid al-Sahla, he sits and cries and sheds tears. One of our Maraja, Ayatollah Milani, had said that it's wajib upon us, incumbent upon us, that a few minutes in the day to talk to Imam al-Zaman. When was the last time we talked to Imam al-Zaman? This is the month of Ramadan. As some of our scholars say, if you have not become close to Imam al-Zaman in the month of Ramadan, what have you done? You have read his dua iftitah, you have prayed for him, but we have not come close to him. And this is connecting spiritually and increasing our connection and spiritual understanding of Imam al-Zaman. And this is something that can be done. Look at the traditions. The traditions, first of all, tell us that Imam al-Zaman, Imam Mahdi, is informed about us. Don't we say in the night of Qadr, all our files go to the 12th Imam, just how they went to the Prophet of Islam during his prophethood. All our files go to the 12th Imam. He is informed of us. He sees us, but we don't see him with our eyes. Each and every one of us, he knows. Each and every one of our actions, he knows. Look at the traditions. The traditions say this, فَإِنَّا نُحِيتُ عِلْمًا بِأَنْبَاءَكُمْ. This tradition is from Imam al-Zaman. We surely know, we have knowledge of your events. وَلَا يَعْزَبُ عَنَّا شَيْءٍ مِّنْ أَخْبَارِكُمْ. Nothing is hidden from us, from what's going on with you. We know exactly what is happening. Look at the other traditions. It says about Imam al-Zaman that he helps us. He helps us during the occultation. إِنَّا غَيْرُ مُهْمِلِينَ لِمُرَاءَاتِكُمْ. We are helping you. We don't leave you alone. We don't leave in helping you. وَلَا نَاسِينَ لِذِكْرِكُمْ. And we don't forget you. Imam al-Zaman. This tradition again is from Imam al-Zaman. There is a story that Ayatollah Wahid al-Khorasani, one of the Marajas, says. I heard this from his students. How Imam al-Zaman protects the Shia during the occultation. And he said that this was a time period when Russia had attacked Iran. And as you know, some of the shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam was damaged. And the Russians were using artillery, were using guns. But the Persians that time, the Iranians did not have guns, they had swords. So they were losing. And there comes a person, because this was the first time they're seeing bullets and they didn't know what to do with bullets. This is the first time they see somebody come and he would do a dua, he would do something, and when they wanted to have surgery on that wounded person, that person would lay rested and he would go unconscious, and easily they would remove the bullet from him. Right? It wasn't like how we have surgery today and you have this process where you can completely numb them or knock them out to have surgery. So this person came and would do this dua, and they would get knocked out, or they would be calm, and they would perform surgery on them. So for them it was something awkward. Who is he? Who is this person? And this story is from one of the students I heard, one of the good students of Ayatollah Wahid, and Ayatollah Wahid mentions this story. He said this person, sometimes Imam al-Zaman himself doesn't come directly to help. He sends people. He's sent through a person, through another person, through a few chains to come to help. And he said, I have been sent from him to help you, from the 12th Imam, through a few chains. Then he says this, not because of your actions, but because of two things I have come to help. One is your love of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and another is your love for Sayyidah Fatima. So he does aid us, he helps us, many of us, in different ways that you did not know. He has helped you. Directly, he has helped you. And this is, we realize when we want to connect to him, you're connecting to your infallible Imam that is one, aware of you and your actions, and two, is helping you. And it says this in the rest of the tradition, وَلَوْلَا ذَلِكَ, if it wasn't for our help, أَنزَلَ بِكُمْ الدَّاء, there would be troubles, pains, tribulations for you, the followers of the Ahlul Bayt. How did Shiism remain as how it is safe today from all the enemies that Shiism had, the followers of the Ahlul Bayt? It was the help of the Imams. So we seek the help of Imam Zaman. When we want to wait for him spiritually, as a wayfarer, we understand that he is informed of us and that he will help us. Please recite a salawat. It's interesting to know one of the stories that we read, and it's in the books of Hadith, about Ali ibn Mahziyar Ahwazi. He was a person that lived during minor occultation. This person, this great person, he would go to Hajj, and the entire purpose he would go to Hajj was to see Imam al-Zaman. This was about 1,200 years ago. Because there's narrations that you should finish your Hajj with the Imam. You finish Hajj and you complete Hajj with Imam. Aren't we talking about how Imamat completes our guidance? So 19 years this person went to Hajj to see Imam al-Zaman in the time of the minor occultation, where it was easier to see Imam al-Zaman. They had the 4 representatives hoping to see him one day. The 20th year, he loses his hope. He says, it's been 19 years and I haven't seen him. He has a dream. People bring him, they say, we're going to Hajj, come with us. He says, maybe this year something's going to happen. He goes. He is in the house of God in Baytullah al-Haram. There, a person comes to him, and it was a representative of the 12th Imam in the traditions. This tradition is in different books, by the way, this story. Different books of hadith. And there, this person, Ali ibn Mahziyar, he says, I'm waiting for Al-Imam Al-Mahjub An-Alam. I'm waiting for the Imam that is hidden from the world. I'm looking for him. But he corrects him. He says, no. Ma huwa mahjub, he is not hidden. Ma huwa mahjub ankum, walakin hajabahu su'a a'malikum. Your bad actions have caused you to hide from him. He is not hidden. You are hiding from him. And this is a reality if we think about it, brothers and sisters. We have hidden ourselves from him because there are many people that through spirituality, they see him with their hearts. They see him, and maybe eventually in their dreams or physically they might meet him. So we are hiding with our actions from him. Then he says this. Finally, he comes and he meets the 12th Imam. And he comes crying to him. And the Imam tells him this in the traditions. Ya Abul Hasan, his name was Abul Hasan, Ali ibn Mahziyar. قَدْ كُنَّا نَتَوَقَّعُكَ لَيْلًا وَنَهَارًا. We were waiting for you day and night. Where were you? Imam al-Zaman was waiting for him to wake up. Day and night. فَمَا الَّذِي أَبْتَى بِكَ عَلَيْنَا. Why did you come to us so late? We were waiting for you. And he says, I don't have a guide. I didn't have a guide. And that wasn't the reason. He says, no, it's not because of not having a guide. He said, Imam in the tradition mentions a few actions that Ali ibn Mahziyar was committing to his family members, separation from his family members, too much stress in the world and worrying about the world to gather money. This, in the tradition says, has caused him as a barrier to not to meet the 12th Imam. So it's very possible for us, and we look at books like different books and how you see different ulama and different scholars, they met the 12th Imam. And besides that, the fact that you connect to him spiritually And you have, we say, intidar of a wayfarer, intidar of a spiritual person. And I ask, maybe the question here is this, is how can this be done then? How can we connect? How can we remember Imam Zaman more spiritually? One is how we just mentioned in this hadith, through purification. The more that we sin, the more that our love is into the world and the material, the more we will be separated from Imam Zaman. The more that, as some of the stories say, the more you deserve for him you follow the rules of God, the more that you increase your spirituality, he will come and find you. So the first thing is to purify ourselves, fulfilling all our duties, our obligations towards God, fully. Not just meaning just to pray. Meaning, as I mentioned, be kind to your spouse when you go home. Be kind to your children. Be respectful to your parents. When you go to work, you have halal rizq and halal provisions. When you invest money, you don't invest in a haram company. All your life is full of halal. And I said this story over, this example, I have Shaykh Mutahari says, it's like if we only focus on salat, it's like a cartoon that only works, his nose is big. His ears are big. You have to be well-rounded and well-balanced. You have to balance your family life, your work life, your spiritual life. All of it is for God. All of it rotates around Tawheed, around the oneness of God, but all of it is balanced. You keep everybody happy somehow, right? Your family, your work, everything, if you can. The second thing is we have to begin to cry and read du'as for him, especially in the month of Ramadan, especially on Fridays, the night of Friday, especially when we cry for Imam Hussein. We know that in the traditions in Ziyarat Nahiya it says that I cry for you day and night, and I will cry instead of tears, blood. It says in Ziyarat Nahiya. This is a reality. You're talking to an Imam that is crying blood for Imam Hussein. If you remember Imam Hussein, in the revolution of Imam Zaman is also a continuation of the revolution of Imam Hussein. If this is important for you, you're aligning your heart with Imam Zaman. You have to become Husseini if you want to become Mahdawi. You have to become Husseini. You have to, why am I reciting Musibat every night? It is to practice. It is to develop our tears, our crying. Why? Because Islam, we have to practice it both with our mind and with our emotions. God has given us emotions. Why not use it? Emotions is like the engine. It moves us forward. We need to connect to Imam Zaman. Why? Through his munajat, crying. One of those is in Dua Nutbah. It's the dua of weeping that you will be doing on the day of Eid. It's Eid, but you will be weeping. And it says, part of it is, Azizun alayya an ara al-khalqa wa la tura, you say. What does this mean in Arabic? It is difficult on me, Imam Zaman, to see the creation, but not to see your holy face, not to see you. Sometimes we forget. Right? We forget about the pain of occultation, the pain of separation from Imam Zaman, and forget how beautiful life in the world will become when he comes back. In heaven, we said the traditions, people will go to heaven, they'll say, come to heaven, enter the doors of heaven, but they will see Imam Hussein, and they'll prefer to speak to Imam Hussein than entering heaven at that time. They call, in the tradition, it says, Huddath al-Hussein. They are speaking to Imam Hussein, and the women of the paradise even come, it says in the narrations, and don't even look at them. They prefer to talk to Imam Hussein because they see the beauty in heaven. The barriers will be removed, and you'll see the true beauty of Imam Hussein. You'll see the true beauty, and Mahdi is Tawusa Ahl al-Jannah, From all comparisons in Arabic, the peacock is the most beautiful bird and most beautiful creation. It says in the traditions that Mahdi is the peacock in the heaven that Prophet Yusuf will live. Mahdi will be the most beautiful. So why can't we see Imam al-Zaman? Why don't we cry that we see Imam al-Zaman? Azizun alayya an ara al-khalqa wa la tura wa la asma'a laka hasisan wa la najwa. Nor can I hear any whisper from you, any talk from you. Hal ilayka yabna Ahmad sabidun fatulqa. Is there a way for me, O son of Ahmad, O son of Prophet Muhammad, a way for me to see you and to meet you? This is in Dua and Nutbah. If you don't recite these du'as, if you don't take the time to recite these du'as, we will not have that connection. These du'as are meant for us to connect us with Imam al-Zaman. Please recite a salawat. So first, so we said the intidhar, waiting as a scholar, we aligned our minds, and we understand his revolution, the purpose of his revolution, and we work life, our intentions, everything we do is for Imam al-Zaman and that revolution. The second is waiting with our hearts, is a wayfarer, and such a person purifies himself from sin. 2, such a person develops a relationship with Imam al-Zaman. When he does his du'as, they say Ayatollah Khoi, they met him every time he did dua for years, 15, 20 years. Every dua he did in qunut was dua Allahumma kulla waliyaka al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan. They say every dua I listened that he did in his qunut was this dua. So we remember the dua, we recite the du'as of the Ahlul Bayt. We do the ziyarat like ziyarat al Yasin. We recite Quran for the mother of Imam al-Zaman. These are things we do that develops this relationship. But finally, there's a few more things we need to do. 2 more things. And this is something that it makes perfect sense when you think about. When you think about always the 313, and you think about the companions of Imam al-Zaman, what do you think right when you say about them? You say that they are selfless, that they are willing to sacrifice. You think of their sacrifice, right? You see them as any instant, the 313 or the companions of Imam al-Zaman, that within an instant they'll change, they'll give everything they have in this world for him. Therefore, one trait that we develop in ourselves to truly be waiting for Imam al-Zaman is we practice, and it's in our narrations, that we also are waiting to meet God. We are of those that are waiting to meet God, not of those that are waiting and attached to the dunya and the world. We're waiting because this will happen, the barriers get removed, and you will see with your heart your Rabb, because Allah doesn't have a physical form. But you will see Him with your heart, and you are waiting for that. Our entire actions, we say, qurbatan ilallah, to seek nearness. So a believer, his entire dream is liqa'ullah, to meet Allah. And the waiter for Imam al-Zaman, his entire aspirations and dream is liqa'ullah. So once a person, he doesn't have any dream or desire for this world, his entire dream is how Imam Ali alayhi salam says, I am ready, I'm waiting to meet God, I'm waiting for death. Our traditions say one of the best things is to wait for death. You approach death as it's something, as it says in the traditions. I read a beautiful tradition today, I don't have time to say it. It's as if when they give, the Imam compares it, our ignorance of death, that we don't want to die. It's the reason for that is because when you compare, he says in this tradition, giving medicine to a baby, to a child, what does the child do with that medicine? He wants to spit it out, hates it, tastes bad. He doesn't like it. He doesn't understand this medicine will make him good, will make him feel better. We, in the same way, don't realize that no matter how much we are afraid, but when our death comes, it's something very beautiful for us. And I gave the example, it's like life, of a baby inside its mother's stomach. Right? A baby that's inside its mother's stomach thinks that's life. But because they're not born yet, they think that they're crying, they're afraid, they're coming to a new world, they think it's something bad. But compare that life, which is inside the stomach, with the life that they come after birth, we don't even consider that life. We consider that death. And the same way the Quran talks about this world as death, as when you compare it to the next world, it says, Inna dara akhara lahiya hayawan. That is life. That is true life. So if we want to wait for Imam al-Zaman, it is not a waiting of a person that's attached to the world and is dreaming of the world. It's that 313, those soldiers, those companions, that they want to meet God. They don't fear death. They don't fear death, and they're waiting for the 12th Imam so that when he can come, they can wait for him. So that's one of the traits that's very connected, that a spiritual wayfarer is, that they are far from the world and attachments of the world. And the Quran tests people, you see, it says, if you're true, then tamannaw al-maut in kuntum sadiqeen. If you're true, you truly have belief, then wish for death. The Quran tests us, says, do you wish for death? Not that we don't like our lives or that we hate our lives. No, we love our life, and Islam gives us that enjoyment. But we know this is a bridge, and that place is our home. Therefore, a person that doesn't realize this won't be a true supporter of Imam Zaman. They keep wanting to build the bridge. Imam Zaman is coming to remove us from this bridge and take us to our reality. If you don't understand that reality, you cannot be a good supporter of Imam Zaman. Please give a salawat. And the last thing is that we talked about guidance during these last 15 days. You brothers and sisters have cleansed yourselves, you're pure, your sins have been forgiven. You have nur and light now. In the month of Shawwal, look, there's not much a'mal to do in the month of Shawwal. Take this light of guidance and nur that you have and use of it. True, you won't have nights of Qadr anymore until a year, if God gives us the blessing. But those things that you have gained, take advantage of it and use it. Don't be like a person that has bought all these things for themselves, gathered it, but doesn't open it and use it. You have all these gifts of guidance now. You have all these different ways that your heart is receptive. Use it to connect to Imam Zaman, preserve it. Don't let the month of Shawwal be a month that we're going to be sinning, or we don't take advantage of the light and nur that we have. If we can dim the lights. So we talked about guidance, and we said that God's guidance is the best gift that He gives to us. Guidance is life. Guidance for us is the way the world works. He controls everything by guidance and divine guidance. And we said that the final completion of guidance is connection to Imam Zaman. They say that because it is the last night that we'll be here, and we ask Allah it's the last night of the month of Ramadan, there's some a'mal tonight. The ziyarat of Imam Hussein is also something that's written for tonight, or different a'mal. They say that when one person is mentioned, that Imam al-Zaman comes to that majlis, that he pays attention to that majlis. And that is the name of Hazrat Abbas. We don't know any other name that once you mention whoever had problems, whoever had difficulties, they mention Abbas right away. Even they say in Iran, people that aren't Muslim, they're Christian. Say a truck driver was about to crash, and he says, "Oh Abbas of the Muslims, come and save me." Abbas is known from the martyrs of Karbala, and he has the highest position of all the martyrs, that when you mention his name, Imam al-Zaman pays attention to that majlis. Abbas was loyal. He was a loyal companion of Imam Hussein. And we mentioned his name that inshallah we can be loyal companions for Imam Zaman. We can be Abbas for Imam Zaman. When they came to his mother, al-Baneen, and al-Baneen saw Sayyidah Zainab salamullah alayha and asked her, Zainab, how come you're so old? She says that the musibats and the miseries has made me old. She says, what about my son Abbas? Was he loyal? And there Zainab salamullah alayha says, not was he loyal basically. Loyalty was Abbas. Loyalty was Abbas. He was the king of manners, the leader of the loyal. He was the general of Karbala. Don't go, beautiful moon of Imam Hussein. When he came to get the water for the children of Imam Hussein, the waves of arrows were showering upon his pure heart. Scorched by the thirst of the children, comes Abbas to the Furat. It is the time of farewell that Imam Hussein says goodbye to his beloved and loyal brother Abbas. The dreams of al-Baneen are becoming true. It was her dream that his son would be sacrificed for Imam Hussein, that all her children would be sacrificed for the children of Zahra. His head on that day became like the head of his father Ali. Just how Imam Ali was hidden by a sword on the head, Abbas was hidden by a sword on his head. Like his real mother, Fatima Zahra, just how she was pushed on the ground and she fell on the ground, Abbas fell from the horse. His body, like Zahra, becomes bruised by falling. His head, like Imam Ali, he must have yelled at that time when he was falling off the horse, Ya Haydar, while losing his arms. His face is pale now. It's his last breath. It's time for farewell. Time for Imam Hussein to say bye to his brother. Imam Hussein, as it says, Abbas comes as he comes towards the Farad. ثُمَّ جَاءَ سَهْمٌ آخَرْ فَأَصَابَ صَدْرًا. Final arrow comes and hits the heart of Abbas. He falls. فَانْقَلَبَ عَنْ فَرْسِهِ. He falls, but I ask you, brothers and sisters, he does not have arms. How does he fall when he doesn't have arms? وَصَاحَ إِلَىٰ أَخِيهِ الْحُسَيْنِ أَدْرِكْنِي. He yelled, Hussein, come help me. فَلَمَّا أَتَى رَآهُ سَرِيعًا فَبَكَى. He saw his brother in the blood, twirling and quirling in the blood, and he begins to cry. There Imam Hussein, he says, فَقَالَ الْحُسَيْنِ الْآنِ انْكَسَرَ ظَهْرِي. Now my back is broken.
Abbas, Ya Abbas, you're the bravest of us. Abbas, Ya Abbas, you're the bravest of us. You're a reminder that Ali's above us, as he's daring to bring water. They're preparing his slaughter, as he's daring to bring water. They're preparing his slaughter. Oh, flag bearer, where's your hand? Is it bleeding on the sand? Oh, flag bearer, where's your hand? Is it bleeding on the sand? Will will Sakina understand? You were loyal to her command. Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. Everyone, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. On that day when the blood stains covered me, nothing but the face of my Imam would comfort me. I left my sword because my Mawla ordered me, and walked a path of love that had annihilated me. This blood of mine flowing like an ocean to you, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, is all I have to offer in devotion to you, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. Paradise is this face of yours in front of me, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. Your approval means that like whore I am free, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. Everyone, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. Every man has a chance to show himself. Sometimes in his life he will come to know himself. Good or bad, when the call is to Islam, some of us will stand, only some of us respond. Oh Hussein, your Abbas hears you calling, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. In the middle of the desert, bare and bloody, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. And the shrieks of women who are screaming, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. He'll answer you and he'll speak out by nothing, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. Master, when will I see your face again, Abul Fadl ya Abbas? Call me brother, O Abbas, for this is the end, Abul Fadl ya Abbas, Abul Fadl ya Abbas. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Inshallah, before we give the salam, we have Marid of Manzoor here. We do 5 times Ayah Sharif Amal Ujib for the Shafa of all the Marda of Islam, khususan this Marid. Zuhur Sahib al-Aswa Zwana Shali Hajjal. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم all together السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى جميع شهداء كربلاء خصوصا أبا الفضل العباس السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء السلطان يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا إمام العصر والزمان الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا مهدي أدركنا 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 السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات